Hi, this is Jennifer from Genovate, and this is How Much Does a Kitchen Renovation Cost? So how much does a kitchen renovation cost? That is a good question. How much does a bathroom renovation cost? I guess I should wait till the end to tell you the actual numbers of what it really costs here in the Hudson Valley in 2024. How much does a house cost? Do you want a little shack in the Midwest, or do you want a mansion? I can't tell you how much it's going to cost. I kind of can't tell you how much anything's going to cost until you have a design. How much does a sandwich cost? How much is a sandwich? Is a sandwich $7? Or is it $18? I will not ever forget the day that I went to like the Ritz or something like that in the city, and my sandwich was $28, and I called my parents afterwards and said I had a $28 sandwich. There's so many variables that go into any renovation that will make your project less or more. The point of planning is so that you can get that overview and you can decide where your dollars are going to go, because everybody has different priorities. So how much does a renovation cost? I had a client once call. They said their contractor said it was going to be about $15,000. And I was like, well, yeah, the contractor's price is going to be $15,000, but you have to buy all the stuff that's going to go into the bathroom. So by that time, you're at $30,000. Make sure that you understand that you are adding up every single little thing. And a lot of people just plow right into a renovation without that knowledge or without that financial buffer to say, oh, we can go a little further with it. The home renovation shows, they really distort our understanding of what a renovation is. I don't know who's funding those renovations. And even when they have problems that they run into on the site, it's like, oh, well, we've got this electric that we've got to move, and then they move it. But they don't actually discuss the fact that that's going to probably incur another $2,000 to move that electric. Clients will come to me and say they want something simple. Clients will come to me and say that they don't want to spend too much money. But there's a base cost for ripping everything out and putting everything back in. Finishes sometimes even end up being kind of an afterthought, because by the time you've done all the rip out and the put back in of everything, you're already at $20,000. That ends up being where people sometimes will have to make the decision to be way more frugal and get plain box store subway tile, at which point you can say, oh, well then let's put it in a cool pattern. But guess what? Putting plain box store subway tile is frugal in the material cost, but putting it in a pattern is going to incur more costs for the contractor to slow down and put it into a custom pattern. People always ask for a tile floor. Tile floor is way more labor intensive than what's called a floating floor. It floats over the substrate. I mean, we're also talking about luxury vinyl flooring, but please don't do that, please, unless it's a basement, and you absolutely have to, because it's really ugly and it looks like shit. Oop, I shouldn't say that, right? We people doing renovations, we're adults, and those are adult decisions that we all need to make for our big most of us, this is our biggest investment that we've ever made. And if you want to take care of it and you want to do it right. So a lot of the time, we work with a client to put together a project, and we get that package price of whatever it is. And they say, okay, I don't want to do flooring, and I don't want to do this because I can save money. And then invariably, we start doing the project, and they say, well, now those cabinets don't look so great against that old flooring, so can we do the flooring now? Well, guess what? If you want new tile flooring, after we've put the cabinet in, you really have to do tile flooring underneath your kitchen cabinets, not accepting the fact that you're gonna wanna do the whole renovation up front. I call it project creep, right? Like, you start doing something and then you start looking at all the other things that are dirty or old or need updating. The best way to stop project creep is to just do a room at a time. And by doing a room at a time, you kind of want to look at the whole room together, top to bottom. Do I want the ceilings painted? Do I want new molding? Do I need new flooring, even though we're just putting in these built-ins? Do the windows need to be updated? Take a room at a time and do the renovation right, and you'll be much happier later, even though it's really expensive. It's really expensive. It's hard to tell people to spend lots of money. It's hard. But you want to spend a lot of money and then be excited about it in the end, rather than feel like you just got taken advantage of and left by the side of the road, which, can happen too. So when I look at a picture on the internet of a beautiful after and a before, it's very easy for people to point to the after and say, I want that. And one of the things that you have to be mindful of is the fact that a lot of these are really big budgets. I see that they moved electric over the island. I see that they upgraded to a waterfall island top, which to me is kind of a waste of money. Running the hood all the way up and out. Many of these houses that were built up until even the 70s, their exhaust doesn't vent out of the house. It vents up into the attic, like in this house. Every single thing that I'm saying here is going to incur a cost. I can see that they now have the cabinets going all the way to the ceiling, which is a great thing because it looks big and beautiful, but it also is extra expense with the materials. More material, more money. More material, more money. I see that they removed a load-bearing wall. The flooring, all new wood flooring, very expensive if it's real wood. Appliances, very expensive. Oh, new windows. New windows cost money. New windows often require reframing, and you can do your renovation thinking ahead that where there already is a window, there already is framing for it. For example, changing a window to a door is very easy. Changing a window to a longer window is much easier than actually putting in a new header and making it bigger or wider. So new windows, more money. And those are all things that go into your kitchen renovation. So the price of remodeling a kitchen, you can buy packages of appliances at a box store, one of their twice a year big sales for as little as $3,500, or you can buy just a dishwasher for $3,500. You can spend $30,000 on just appliances. Here in the Hudson Valley, I think most of my kitchen renovations are more like $40,000, and some of them have gone 80, 90, depending on the upgrades that you choose. Almost every client chooses an upgrade for their bathroom or kitchen. There's a base price, and then they can choose what their priorities are to put their money. I would really like to have a nice soaking tub. I would really like to have this beautiful backsplash. I would really like to have a seltzer machine on tap. These are the choices that we get to make. And having that planning overview gives you that perspective to make those choices and not be smitten and think that it's gonna be an instant renovation. You have to think about it for a really long time. I did my kitchen this year after having thought about it for 5 years and planning it for 5 years. But that planning pays off, and it pays to have someone help you make those decisions and walk you through all of those decisions. Doesn't have to be me, but if you pay somebody to design it, should be designing it with you, for you, about you and your home and your family. That money will come back to you because of the good decisions that you've made, because you get what you want, because you haven't made those mistakes along the way of wanting to change your tile on your floor after your kitchen cabinets are already in. This is a custom suit. This is completely a custom outfit for you, for your home. And I go to these home consultations and to look at the project, and people will tell me what they want to do, but that's not enough information. People expect me to say a number of what I think it's going to cost. And I can say a number of what it minimally will cost, but even that has come back to bite me in the butt, because then people will say, when I come back and say, well, it's 25 to 30 usually as a starting price for a bathroom, and if you have a tub, then that probably puts it over 30 because the tub itself is expensive, and then that's a whole other piece of things to plumb. And I've had this conversation, and I've had clients come back and say, I thought you said it was going to be $25,000 when their project came to 32 because they have a tub, and I used the least expensive everything. So it's a very custom thing, and you can go to a box store and get a cookie cutter kitchen or bathroom, and you can get something that is less if you do it yourself. But really, they're very, very complex questions that have no direct answer. And so sometimes I feel like I'm being indirect with people, but I am being direct to say, it depends on the design. Everything depends on the design. If you've designed gold walls, you're gonna have to pay for gold walls. It is not a simple answer, ever, to say, how much is a hamburger? Is it a grass-fed hamburger? Is it homemade buns and homemade ketchup? Is it in a fancy ambiance? Is it in a high cost of living area? Kids menu one? Is it the adult one? Is it the one with foie gras in it? There's no way to say even what a hamburger costs. There's no way to tell you what your kitchen renovation costs.